You are watching Eswatini TV. Sibuko seMaswati.
Right place, right time. Hello and welcome. A beautiful evening once again to be with you on this Monday, the 12th of October. The year is 2020. Hello and welcome. Cold weather it has been for sure, but nothing stops sports activities from proceeding in the Kingdom of Eswatini. Today's speciality is going to be on a few stories or few cases that took place over the weekend. Number one, we do have a new idea that has been brought in the Kingdom of Eswatini, where by the name of Sabelo Ngwenya, he has introduced what they call border to border. It's one way of crossing from one border to the other border in the country. That's quite beautiful. When you talk about issues of tourism, there's one aspect that is involved in that. You also talk about issues of adventure. This is for adventurous reasons, so it's also there, but also for fitness level. I think when you walk from one border to another border, that's fitness level. We hear from Mr. Ngwenya is going to be in the studio to tell us about what's the idea behind, what is he looking to achieve with that. Otherwise, other activities that took place over the weekend, we talked about that Women Cricket Festival that took place over the weekend, and it was one way Cricket Association was trying to invest, or rather trying to put so much energy in emphasizing the importance of cricket, women cricket in the Kingdom of Eswatini. We also look at that and hear from the women what they learned and how they like about this new issue. Otherwise, Zitand is one of the top athletics club in the Kingdom of Eswatini. They also had a fitness camp. We look at that. Techball, they continue their programs to try to expand what they are doing in the Kingdom of Eswatini now. Having now tried to reach different municipalities, this weekend they were giving more attention to people living with disability. Specifically, we'll also listen to what the initiative was about and why they had to do that, and how people with disabilities responded to this new sport in time. Otherwise, the Premier League of Eswatini, the newly elected executive members, headed by Chairman Carmichael, were there down there by Ngwenyeni, where they were being taught how to be an executive member. Quite interesting. It is it induction. That's what's going to be discussed later on the show with our in-house analyst Linda. Otherwise, internationally, we'll also touch on other issues pertaining to Nadal being the champion, of course, of the French Open 2020. Also other issues that we're taking, international break, UEFA Nations League, all that is going to be live here. Do not hesitate to stay in your comfort zone wherever you are in the Kingdom of Eswatini. Could it be in your sitting room, wherever you are watching us from different platforms? This is live. This is about you. Now, I'm already in the company of Sabelo Ngwenya, so very special in Temidlalo. Yes. Before maybe I can see you've also it's significant stuff. We'll talk about this, why you bringing this, but let's talk about you as a person. You Sabelo Ngwenya. Who is Sabelo Ngwenya? Ucamgapi and all the details.
Sabelo Ngwenya lijaha la khona lapha ekhaya eSwatini. Ngidalwa le eshiselweni eKhubutha kaMpoke. La ngitelo khona ngakhulela khona ngelusa ngenta konke. Ngafunda nesikolo, ngiqedwe isikolo sami eBeneza High School. Ngaze sengwenda matric eBarberton eSouth Africa. Kufunza lokunye lengufunzile in the psychosocial support lapha euniversity, ngaphinde futhi ngenda vocational education lapha eScott. Ngisebentela eMnyango kulungisa similo neqonzisa. Ngisebentela eSpeak.
Okay.
Lenye profession lenginayo kuthunga. Ngitailor. Lekungona lungispecialize kubo le ekhaya emsebentini wami lengiqashele kona. Ngifundisa la tivakashi tengwenyama emakhono lengekhathi.
Wow, there you have it. Beautiful stuff, Sabelo Ngwenya. One thing that we have as a national broadcast, the message is that whatever that you're doing that is in the interest of the public, we bring it to you. Now, this is a message, border to border. What Mr. Ngwenya is going to tell us about, I'm shocked because we've seen these things are happening internationally. I think there is a guy specifically in Kenya who was moving from one mountain. He ended up moving up to Kilimanjaro. So now this is now a new initiative from one border to another border within the country without going obviously outside the country. So he leaves one border to the country. Tell us about the idea, border to border within the country.
The idea of the route is to adventure first of all. Decide lokho nje ukuthi nami ngiyafuna ukuthi kube ngeke nesikhathi nje ukuthi dinikete sona nje ukuthi asengiphole bekhona lengwendawo kahle kahle vele kungilokuvakasha futhi lokunye lokukhona lapho kwesi mhlawumbe ngeke lokungaba khona lokungile ngingedile lapho lengubukile lokho ukuthi lenzaba yokuwalka le singakusatha as a sport singemaswati since kunebantu labaqhamuka nezinto eziningi letahlukahlukene kulamanye emave letifana ngiqanqathi inzaba thina inzaba tethu laSwatini asinato lethi singatenda mhlawumbe ngeke ibe sport lesifana nalawa lamanye emave but ngoba ingoma ihlala etinzabeni onke lamalanga abafana bawulanza ingoma etinzabeni so kukhona info lengazuthi ngiyibonile mina lengathi awkward la ekuhambeni kule distance lenze kangaka le ungathi noma ngangibani lo yendile athi nje ukuthi wow maye ngakwenta nakulokukhulu nami there is a great goal lengiachievile empilweni yami if I've traveled such a distance from Matamo to Lavumisa so we can take that as a sport in that angle. Because you've already given us a short background now. I'm seeing the pictures on our screen saying is rest walking a sport, and I think maybe not to answer on your behalf, but I think anything that involves moving your body, activeness, it is a sport. Now, let's talk about ubesenga matsam uyelavumisa. Sengithi maybe you're going to be your beginning this coming. You mentioned in our chat, you mentioned that utkara this week midweek Wednesday. Yes, tell us about the plan of the day, Nibangak, Nomusowetwana so far, and how do you plan to do this? Before maybe I can ask you the distance and the hours. Are you taking a break? Hambanchan, tell us about the day on its own, first day on Wednesday. Okay. The route to ifanele ukuthi iqale on Wednesday, as I have said. Iyaqala Wednesday nga 6 o'clock ekseni. Siya kika vele siyasuka. Ithikele plan sihamba 5 days kuyofika le according to the plan, because this is for the first time ukuthi sikwende. We are not sure of the number of days, ukuthi how long will it be. It might happen kwanza ukuthi sithethe less than that, maybe kwaba ngu4, depending on the challenge behind. Ngenteka futhi kwanza ukuthi sesiwelela ngale ngeshare ku day number 6, but it will depend ukuthi how well the challenges along the way. Sinasuka nga 6 o'clock le si expect ukuthi thina sibe semadla ngempisi nakushona ilanga la langa lo lesithathu. That's the plan for the first day. Then indawo yokulala lesi expectile ukuthi singathi istawulala khona. We will be carrying our own camping equipment, special tent lekulala, phinde futhi bese sekuba netingubo tekulala start accommodator thina kafishana. But ema sites accommodator lapho khona singapicture khona amathende bese bukethe inzawo tahulumende 35 cards ema police stations nabo correctional centers
safety reasons,
yes, for safety reasons nange ukuthi nje for safety reasons nje vele siphinde futhi sibuke nedibhedlela seyimiphakathi sikhanze ukuthi kungaba ingodi ukuthi mhlambe incebe sesingangena esitolo nje sisipaka laminyango sisiyalala khona because dawukhanda ukuthi sekugangiwe bese siyambanza kanyeka nekulala ekhaya lemuntu dawukhanda ukuthi abantu seba nenkinga yokuthi abasalali kahle abasakhululeki so kufune nje silale indzawo lethi tower neutral.
Ngivumela ukuthi ube kancane Ngwenya in the interest of time. We hear the idea, the work and everything. Manje angathi noma bonile kulamalanga simo selithulu ngathi siyangalo ukuthi ngamuhlaliyana kusasa nanguva kahle vele the camping equipment vele nalina bese sekuba inkinga. Have you planned on that? And so far usitshela ukuthi nibangaki in terms of numbers?
In numbers we are 2.
Okay.
Yes, we are 2 for now. But it might happen because I am the main
initiative. Someone might want to join.
I am the man behind. Yes. I'm sure of myself.
Okay.
It might happen at the end sengqina sengethwana. But it's a mission lengifuna ukuthi vele finally ngicine ngeaccomplishile. So but according to lokhona nyalo we are 2. Maybe ke kule angle loyishoko le ukuthi ingabe indzaba telitulu nakukonke. Siphazamisa nginamkhuhlane lokhona lo kungethe umhlaba wonke. Initially na ngikubuka mina bengithe vele kungaba kahle na sithole inyanga lengathi sicishe iba ngonywana in terms of lama harsh weathers of which it's August. But we were unfortunate because busy vele nathi sikuma operations akona lokho until siba relieved vele bese ngitshela nje ukuthi ngeke kube khona this year. Then when we were relieved ke sengiqala ukuthi ngiphusathele nyalo before uphinde futhi kube worse because nasichubeka siyaphambili futhi le weather nakhona taphinde ibe harsh more than today.
Okay. Now route uthithe Wednesday
sisuka eMathamo.
By the end of the day 6 in the morning.
Yes.
Iplan ithi 6 nsambamba niyaphumula.
Yes, 6 nsambamba siyaphumula.
Okay, nila kuphi?
Siphumulela
Madlangempisi.
eBhalekane.
Okay.
Which is in Madlangempisi.
Madlangempisi.
Yes.
Morning
Thursday morning siyakhika. Sitawubona ke lapho ukuthi sigcina kuphi.
In terms of
nami sitabe sigayidwa ngile GPS angisisho of le route lephambili ukuthi ngaye ngifika mina but ke iGPS itabe isleader yona.
Comfortability in terms of outfit ngigcoke kanjani khona nikuphetha yini in terms of water and
yes athi khona tikujana temandi lesitabe sitiphethe thina in terms of water so siya refill because we are fortunate la Eswatini side indzawo lengathi ihamba phinze futhi ibe wild kakhulu kwebethe emakhaya le route yethu nje cishe yenqa emakhaya nasetitolo indzaweni lapho khona cishe sibuke ukuthi uma suka la stafike sikuthole lokho phambili so siyakhona lokho refill ngediteshi. Yes.
Now so you are the founder, you are the director of this initiative, the walk border to port. Tiponsa khona lokunako kwanyana noma it's private, you can't reveal much.
Fabrice vele nje in terms of tiponsa kuset lokukhona.
So kick off sponsored. Okay, Wednesday nje it's imali icamke ikenda.
Yes now uthi nje usesengilambile nya ngiqaba ukuthi indawo udlani ubuka la
naye wali yami vele ukuthi lokuye thunjeni vele utawenda nje ngoba the distance ya 6 to 6 but for sure you plan it now in the interest of time let's talk about this. There's a message behind this, there is a reason why this is here. Tell us about that.
Yes, first of all this is my own product. Yes. Like I've said ukuthi
yes.
I mean this is my own product so I've decided ukuthi kule walk yami I have to do something because live lihluphekile kunezinkinga letiningi leti behind live. First of all sikhuluma ngenzaba ye coronavirus. Coronavirus inzaba lesihluphako lehluphe umhlaba wonke so I have to because nami sengimile sengisepulpit I have to do something kubambisa live so I've organized this mask ngidahamba ngipha abantu la endleleni bazame ukuthi bathi protect even ba protect nale second wave lesiva ukuthi ya attack kulamanye mave. Sizame ukuthi sithi protect nathi singemaswati ukuthi singakutholi lokuhlupheka labakutholako labanye. Nathi sithi nje siyabona ukuthi simo ngathi sesizama kuba ngcono akube ngcono kakhulu kunayitolo. Yes so
yes
ngetulu kwaloko kunana indzaba yana i-ribbon nayo le ribbon lo sikhuluma ngenzaba lama colors lawa nje sikhuluma ngenzaba ye breast cancer.
Yes.
So that's why I've decided to use these colors
ukuthi
yes. we are sending awareness. This is the month, October is the month of breast cancer. At the same time we are sending awareness ukuthi bantu abazame ukuthi nana nabo alalele ama precaution e breast cancer bahambe bayohlola before kube worse.
All right. Now, yes. Mr. When you've got 1 or 2 questions, I want to ask one question actually before we leave. Time is against us. We are going this initiative going forward. What have you planned? Because not that I'm convincing anyone, but I'm saying it's a good initiative, and if time allows, I mean, I think next year I will join you. But where do you go? I love this. It's a good idea. Where are you going with this?
Hey, like I've said, ukuthi ngiyafisa ukuthi kugcina kube sport. Selive lokho sikuthethe sonke njengamaswati nje sikugcine sekusport sethu because nangubuka nami kusasa kutawuqhamuka even bantu abaqhamuka ngaphandle, the international community will join us babe attracted with lo according to my plan mina nasiqedza nje nyalo kule sitayicala Wednesday. I have to compile a documentary le mhlawumbe ngicela uzama ukuthi ngifake ka YouTube bayiview abantu labanengi. Ngiyaqela nje nesive semaswati nazo ukuthi
ufuna iqale la ekhaya le documentary before you YouTube ufuna iqale la ekhaya sefuna le documentary kaSwazi TV nje wena nje nangabe Saturday uyachitha le video sayicala so that on Monday the video should be here. Now there's one thing maybe I need to do just in such sort of promotion so that people be aware. Your cell phone number bakuthola because people might want to join by Wednesday baniki inombolo ecingo nama details of social media.
My cell phone number is 7604 7518
047508
7518 7604 7518 ufaka 9 kaSwazi mobile.
All right. Yes. Beautiful. Thank you very much Mr. Ngwenya. We'll keep in touch. Monday nangabe kushinjile stakushaya sive ukuthi uhambe njani.
Thank you Fabrice. Sengidawushiya lo mnikelo.
All right. Don't leave yet. We have a lot to talk about. Otherwise, that was Sabelo Ngwenya, who is the founder and director of Border to Border. Beautiful idea, beautiful innovation. Who knows? This is time where people need to be supported. Investment is needed for this idea. From moving from one border to another border. He can move at this point in time. What he's thinking, he wants to move from Oshuk one day as a figure of Mr. Border. It can happen. This is part of fitness level. It is recreational. It is adventure. A short break where we look at sports activities that took place over the weekend. A montage to show you how the weekend was. Incoming Linda Master for that short montage. Beautiful.
Njengoba namhla besibite nawe emsakade ukuthi utholakele namhla sothi abaqoqele ekhaya ukuthi kanjani kodwa siboke kakhulu emaswati ayeta atofika gqwale lana solo sihamba ngalemgomo we lockdown lokuthi linani libangakanani otherwise bantu inqumbe vele bafuna siyacela ukuthi bahambe bakwenda konke leso ngiko nje bafundisa ukuthi awudzingi ube sejimini awudzingi ube netinsimbi ngemtimba wakho nje kanjena utendela lokunazana.
Beautiful stuff. If you just join us, this is Temidlalo and it is live on your number one channel, Eswatini TV. I'm already in the company of Linda Dlamini. Ngivusela sibalo.
Sibalo ngiyabonga kungivusela ngiyabonga kumukeleka la ngitithoba lukhulu ngivusela maloyal viewers.
Ngishito yini ukuthi le dress code ngiyayitsanza ugcoke kahle ngosi.
Ngiyabonga for pressing ngiyabonga.
Right. There we go. One minute ngosi. The idea border to border utsini ngayo. Na uyibuka nje. It's a new It's the first of its kind.
Awesome idea kuhle kuqala tinvo letinsha vele siyadzinga tinvo letinsha border to border sikaze sakubona lokho sibone matubane ukhuluma ngabo city to sake sayibona leqhamuka kamanzini itela mbabane kodwa le walk let's border to border from Matamo to yena lavu ngicabanga ukuthi
baba ku sport in level leyo is race walking a sport.
Yeah, Race walking vele nakuba Olympics isikhona so ngicabanga ukuthi nalo lokho naye yena amabuya ngicabanga ukuthi indvele kahle le sport vele lesikhona lesisade ukuthi sikhona nasemhlabeni.
There you have it, pictures of course showing how important it is. Now it was last week on Thursday where His Excellency the Right Honourable Prime Minister announced that some of the sporting activities will resume its activities now, knowing that the first wave was announced back in July, where we saw the likes of athletics, we saw the likes of tennis given a green light. This was a second wave of medium risk sports that includes the likes of swimming, gymnastics, chess, darts, including football. Actually, I forgot to mention that the football, I think it was allowed for other, looking at how it was one of the people are hungry, people are waiting for this moment, because the question remains, if we've made football, then there's the rugby, the contact is the same, but I think the priority was because football, we know how bantu na kulumanga, but this point in time kulumanga na manyama sporting codes master. How beautiful was that? Thank you very much for His Majesty's government to once again see it a need to say sports. These are the second type of sports that with that much of a risk to be given a green light. Both in sports.
Yes, Fabrice sibonile ukuthi evikini leliphelile kuvunyelwe lamanye ama sports vele la medium risk. Including bona bo swimming ngenhlanhla ke swimming beyinawo gym yabo about a week ago kusho bakhetha ikomiti lensha netimvo nje labafuna kudenda going forward. Ngicabanga ukuthi yes lama sports asabuyile lamanye awo kodwa ukhuluma ngebhola Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi yona high risk lamanye ama sports vele nawo atawuva ngathi nawo.
That's what I say. Nangabe uvumelile football, rugby feels like it's the same.
In fact not only rugby, ukhuluma nge-taekwondo, ukhuluma ngabo taekwondo ne-karate, loku i-karate nje ngicabanga ukuthi sport leso nabo labangeva ngathi ngalothi thina every time nasiya ngaphandle ko computer ngaphandle khona lesibuya nako event. So siyayicela lemvumo batayicela vele lemvumo ukuthi nabo at least baqhubeke because bedinga ngileti imvolo kumele batlungiselele ukhulume ngesibhakela siyathi ukuthi naso sibhakela most of the time as disappoint nasi ngaphandle cishe bakhona lokusimelela kahle.
Ngicabanga ukuthi masa, just to clarify this, don't get us wrong, we're not saying the decision to let football alone was wrong. We're saying that it is actually we're walking in the right direction. Football, we know others we're actually promoting the idea, we're congratulating the decision by government
in fact,
to decide to release these sporting codes.
Kutabang le bola lele ngicabanga ukuthi awuvulela umnyango sports because kumele yona ilite by example ikhombisela usila high risk sport. There is a better way uyokuthi kungathelelwa nalomkhuhlane inganzisa umkhuhlane. If bantu bebhola batakwenda kahle lokho, why not kungavulelwa lamanye ama sports?
And of course with so much talk about on this program tonight, we will break down these sporting codes as time goes, maybe from next week. Some of them of course will begin their activities. I think so much we've talked about swimming, we've talked about how swimming have the potential also to be a sport without risk, so they are back. So it's a good thing to see them back. So we'll give them time as they move their actions, as they start to show their activities as time flies. Otherwise, moving on, we'll talk about the short interviews and short pictures you saw over the weekend in Manzini, where Zitan, the athletics club, they held a boot camp. And boot camp, this is one way of trying to encourage people to remain fit and active.
In fact, nangikumbula kahle almost every year nang yaqala about 3 or 4 years ago boot camp yakazithande, and nawubuka leti nombolo ngeminyaka tiyakhula bakhuthatha ke vele bona ngicabanga sizithande team liyasukunyiswa nguyensizwa udina ngileti imvula batenda ku Fabrice even ke nasekuseni lokwa ngabo Mondays baye bavuka bona babe active bathe you don't skip Monday Fabrice nawufuna kucala kahle liviki lakho bakwendile ke lapha eManzini club baye bathi ke bona bakhuthatha ukuthi lokungenani imizuzu leng30 awushukumisa umtimba noma ngabe usekhaya thola leso sikhathi sakho lo 30 minutes wakho ushukumisa umtimba. Ngicabanga nje ukuthi yona izithande club ngicabanga ukuthi benda involved inhle kakhulu njengoba ngishilo ngathi inombolo nawubuka nje inombolo tazi this year atfanani naleta last year inyuka kakhulu.
nangibuka kahle lebakwendako singaku underline under gymnastics because singathi nangabe they were not allowed to be in public, but now they did it. So okay, the club is athletic, so they are allowed because athletics are allowed, but the exercise they are doing, it's gymnastics
under aerobics. Yes, ngicabanga ukuthi vele iyafolisha lapho.
And gymnastic has been given a green light.
Green light ukuthi sebangaqhubeka nema activities abo. Zithandeka kafuna kusalela ngaphandle. Baqalile ngeweekend. Ngicabanga njengoba sengishilo ukuthi yinvo lenhle lena vele at least 30 minutes. Mina nawe siyathi ukuthi kumgcoka kanganani exercise. Basi nawo lo 30 minutes ungetela emalanga ngekwetempilo emalanga ekuphila udingetela kuphila kodwa siyathi ukuthi ngekwetenkolo ukuthoba wende inzamvu yaNkulunkulu utawungetela emalanga.
Hey, okay, bese siwa emphasize kakhulu so sulahlile.
Angifuni siluthe abantu sithi ku exercise akutangetela emalanga kuphila kanti uNkulunkulu kuphela lokungetela emalanga kuphila.
There you have it. That is Linda Lamin, of course, giving us the details about this fitness boot camp organized by Zitande Athletics Club. Now, people who attended this boot camp were quite excited and happy. This is their expressions as we listen to them.
Kushukumisa umtimba siyabonga nje nelicembu lakazithande kule activity yabo ya Operation Mkhaba Phuma Kimi. Lokhu i-activity lemcoka kakhulu masithi sinciphisa emathuba ekuthola mdlavuza. Asisho ukuthi siyawucetha mdlavuza noma sithi angeke siwucethe. Noma sithi angeke siwuthole na, kepha sithi sinciphisa lamathuba ngoma ngiletinye timbangela tekuthola mdlavuza lokuba ne-weight lenkulu 1 nalokungashukumisi kwemtimba. Lokusho ukuthi ke masenta lokujima sinciphisa lamathuba lokusho ukuthi umuntu uyaphila kahle nalabo lapho sebanamdlavuza siyacicudela ukuthi it's either uyalashwa noma sowulashiwe sowuphilile kepha kumcoca uphinde ushukumise umtimba sehlisa lamafutha emtimbeni ngoba sitheni imdlavuza ema-cells akhe ayatinda kahle la kunemafutha khona kanti uma umaintaina le healthy weight nawe uyadiva nje uphilile emtimbeni lokusho ukuthi nekuphila kuyanza impela. Litiko lamhlabuhlangene lithi World Health Organization uthi ngelanga umuntu kumcoka ukuthi at least abe na 30 minutes of body activity. Lokusho ukuthi nje 30 minutes uyashukuma umtimba uyive nalenhlitiyo ukuthi it's 3 hours ngelanga kepha nje siyakuspread asithi 30 minutes kumbe evikini ube na 150 minutes of body activity. Lokusho ukuthi kuyahlukana ke nekushukumisa umtimba. Lo uyagijima, lo uyonto ama exercises, lo utawushoval bicycle, lo uyathanyela nje libala lakhe ekhaya, lo uyahlakula, lo uyavuna yini yona leyo la ngayenda naye ekhaya lakhe.
Njoba laba kwekhona lapha ngicabanga ukuthi nani nikuthebulile kulaba chamuka kwetempilo kangwana basibalele ukuthi inhloso kukhona lesingakuvikela thina sibantu kunqane lesingeke sikwende njengala kushilo lokwabo age nalokuthi ngakuthatha kumake noma kubani kodwa kuloko ngakuvikela silwa lo ukuthi asisivikeleni. Prevention is better than cure. Ungameli ukujima lesikhansi ukuthe dokotela hayi emafutha anjanjani ungameli ukuthi we sowudojima ngoba sokukhuluphela lana prevention kuphila kadze ngiko sila so sithathele lithuba lalenyanga lethu ukuthi celebrate le breast cancer awareness sisebenzise leli thuba lesinalo leli ngoba thina bakasithanda siyakhona ukubuthana abantu kanje and ikakhulu ukubuthana bomama sithi ke sithi sijima sibakhumbude phela kujima ukuthi ithanza but uyadinaka yini ngoba solo sikhuluma ngebe sikhuluma ngakule nalenyanga le ukuthi noma ngawuthi uyajima udla kahle sebenzisa icondom yenda konke lokufuna kwendawo nyalo nje ngiphilile kunje ngahamba ufuna ngihambe ngiyotihlola simo sami se cancer ngibone ukuthini ngitshele namakhelwane wami ngalo lwati singilithole la kukhona nje into bengingadadi namhla ngalokubita labetempilo bete lana batokhuluma ngiko lokho mina bengathi lokujima so uthe lo nesima akhuluma vele lokujima ngiko lokufunekako lokuthi sidle kahle ngiko lokufunekako so sichubeka lapho kulomgomo sicela nemaswati ukuthi achubeke and ikakhulu kulombuthana lenje sichumayela kona ukuthi phela asekuqalwe ngekujima bese uyakulandzela lokho.
Beautiful stuff, of course, by Zitande Athletics Club, a boot camp that was held over the weekend. One way to keep fitness and to trying to maintain a good lifestyle. Otherwise, not the only thing that took place over the weekend other people, especially women, ladies, a group of about a couple of women, 30, 40, were held at Malkins Country Club during a women cricket festival, where it was one way to try to introduce the sport to the women. Yes, it is already introduced, but to emphasize the importance of this sport, and also exchange other manners while playing the sport. Masan Kabansi, it's one way to say this is growing sport in the country under the women category.
Oh yes, Fabrice about they're taking the right direction. Bonabaga Cricket Association ba involve bona bomake ku cricket kuzama ku develop the sport. No weekend ke Fabrice bebalapha eMalkens Country Club lapho khona bebezama kufundzisa icishe umnemidlalo we cricket onke lama basics cricket ngicabanga ukuthi njoba sengishilo ukuthi vele nangabe uthi ufuna wena ukuthuthukisa sport akhambi boba bebodwa akunabomake badzingeka cause ngenteka kuba bavalela ngaphandle nje sikhona le star lapha cricket kubomake.
There's a star, of course, that is Des Malinga, the vice president, in the middle, showing them how it's done. And one of the ladies, of course, taking a ball, hitting there. Activities were taking place. This is Malinga, of course, in the center there, expressing Master. Maybe we just listen to what the attendees had to say and what they like about what they saw over the weekend. This is some of the ladies who took part of the festival.
Namuhla sithe kutodlala siphinde futhi sifundise i-cricket emamfumbataneni. Lokhu lesikwendako namuhla sizama kupromota i-women's cricket lapha kaNgwane. Sibuka ukuthi as amamfumbatana sitokhona kuba ne-league nathi letinyanga letitako sesitowakha i-league yethu sikwati kudlala ema-tournaments nekwehlukana.
Kusijabulisa kakhulu lokho ngobe nasaqala nje thine kudlala icricket sisafunda e-high school sakhanza ukuthi ngimi nje nebangani bami labambadlwana ngicabanga ukuthi besilishumi lebesidlala icricket la kaNgwane. Ngiyajabula nje nyalo ukuthi kunebantu labaqhamuka kuboSimunye baqhamuka kuboManzini eMbabane namhlanje ilanga leli sijabulisa kakhulu sibadlali becricket labaqala kuyidlala la kaNgwane. Besikhanza vele ukuthi kudzinga ukuthi sihlephule ekhathi sikhanze ukuthi sesithatha nebamfu labangakajwayeli idlala ngalokuthi sizama kungeta inombolo kepha nyalo siyabona ukuthi bantu bayacecesheka le laba qhamuka khona boSimunye Manzini Mbabane sekunabo coach labaningi futhi baceceshi labaningi labacecesha abadlali bakaNgwane maningi futhi abantu bomadana futhi asesemancane sesesiningi isikhala sekhula but ngiyabona lokuthi batimisele kakhulu.
Ngukhanze ungumdlalo lo kahle ngafisa ukuthi ngichubeke ngudlale obengisolo ngudlala and solo ngiyabona ukuthi nanyalo sengachubeka ngudlala.
Umdlalo we-cricket ngiyawuthanda kakhulu, bengudlala nase high school and ngiyafisa ukuchubeka ngudlale namanje ngijoin i-team.
Active and easy to understand. And yes, ngafisa ukuphinza ngudlala. It's my first time here.
Yeah, I can say alright, it's fine, enjoyable. Umnandi kakhulu. Ngafisa ukuchubeka ngudlala.
Expressions, excitements, and happiness coming from the ladies who attended the festival, Women Cricket Festival. First, we heard from Winile Kiniza, who is the development coordinator for the sport, and these visuals, of course, are showing us different activities that were taking place over the weekend. And now, if everything goes accordingly, their plan is to make sure that I think they do start a league, women's league tournament, maybe anytime soon within this month. Otherwise, we keep a close eye to what's happening within the association pertaining to the development of the sport for women, and then we'll update you. Next in line, Techball. Techball, as I said earlier on, and I have been saying that is one of the growing sport in the country, and expanding the activities to trying to make everyone understand about the sport. Now, a couple of weeks ago, they were involved in delivering tables to different municipalities. We saw the likes of Manzini and Babane getting the tables, but now Linda changes the positions. He becomes the technical director of the association. Right here next to me, Gumugare Jamini. Now you are no more the analyst. This initiative over the weekend, people living with disability, especially deaf people. Awusichazele master ukuthi bithini initiative na ukuthi what was have you achieved what you wanted? Sitakubona la ethi Tfombeni.
Yes, Fabrice, in fact it started on Friday lapho khona table members ahamba afunza sign language kutowendela ukuthi ngakusasa lekulanga la Saturday nasebaqala abafundiswa labaka Deaf Association baba ngetable to ba khona le communication to khona lo understandana Saturday ke base bayafika ke bafika inombolo leti lengicabanga ukuthi tinhle kakhulu baqale bafundiswa ngemthetho we-table.
Uthini lapho master ngoba me asikuve, but I think you can share. What are you telling them?
Ngicabanga ukuthi lana bebafundiswa ngeservice ukuthi no service yafika yashaya kuphi alibalo lepoint uqala lapha su7 then wasase kuyabuya ufundiswa ema basics kuwo bonke labaqala ukudlala i-table umfundise ukuthi ibhola uyicontrol kanjani useva kanjani uhead kanjani ngicabanga ukuthi tonke letinto le and le response ngicabanga ukuthi amasay inhle kakhulu and labadlali labala ngaphuma badlali be national team labangahamba bomelele national team.
Of course. And how many tables were there as we look at from the pictures?
There were 5 tables labeka khona la umangthula ama courts ngale bekuna 3 ngala kuna 2 but nje ngicabanga le nombolo dihle kakhulu Fabrice.
Mhlawumbe just quickly we'll talk about we're going to hear about tech ball and those in charge of this initiative, but quickly before we get to them, one would want to know where to now. You've now reached municipalities, your schools. Unfortunately, schools are not open. I want to know, I actually believe that your next destination was going to be into school. Now you've reached also people living with disability. Where to next?
Fabrice, I'm happy ubutile logo. Le bekwendiwa la Saturday ngilabo labangala embabane then kutabe sesekuchekela kamanzini because the Deaf Association baningi kakhulu mbabane manzini inhlangano baningi kakhulu but ke la sacala khona la yaqala khona i-techball Eswatini yaqala embabane uyasebenzisa yona i-facility yase Olympia, so ngicabanga inyalo nje itawuchubekela kamanzini.
They have it here. Before we just move on, let's take a look and listen to what the SG, Secretary General of Techball Association, had to say in the company of the coach. Listen to that.
Namhlazi Techball Eswatini Federation besitene baga National Eswatini Association for the Deaf sitekto wendi activation besitekto niga labamfu be Association for the Deaf each pfu kutsi bete badlale kula matafula lamva kwepfu bazama i-techball babone ukuthi bativa emandla langanani leli tafula le-techball. As a federation, besi anticipate le challenge in communication. So matsuka leli viki si decide ukuthi sihambe siyo trainwa ukuthi sikhone communicator with basic Swazi sign language. So sihambile saphuma si federation sayofunza kuqala. Sawukhona ukuthi sikhone communicator lokuncane. But sithe sesifika la namuhla nalapho la bekuhle kuvuke ama challenges khona. Bega dissipator ngile sport as a sport is best communicator ngalo letafula ngawo lamabhola nangalokudlala nje sibe kanye kanye.
I-response ibe yinhle nami ke njengemceceshi ngijabulile ukubona ma skills ubangani bethu lebesinabo namuhla bakhombise kuba nelwati lolumadima, so cha ngithokodile kakhulu. I-techball ngesikwakhona vele noma ngangibani angayidlala, so i-potential siyibonile namuhla lenkulu kakhulu, so baningi lengibabonile lana ukuthi nabangachubeka badlale i-techball bangaba dihlabani. Inhlanhla yethu evikini singafiki lelanga namuhla sibe nayo i-training lapho khona bafundise khona kusebenzisa i-sign language. Lokunye ke inhlanhla yethu i-techball kusukela vele na ema faults nako konke lokwendekako la nakudlalwa vele kunawo lama le sign leswendako la khombisako ukuthi noma ungakhulumi nje nangenda i-sign kuyabonakala ukuthi ngithini.
Beautiful stuff from the coach, one of the well-known coach in the Techball Association, Jabuliso Smelane, telling us about the association. But I'm curious, Lamini, you've been fundisa, especially deaf people on the day about the sport. How do you do your name in the science?
Oh yes, Fabrice njoba ngisho ukuthi phrase sabana lolithuba ukuthi sihambe sofunza neligama lami ngalifunza nekuthi yena kuthiwa play uyisign yakona ngile na ukhuluma nga play na ukhuluma nga again ngikhuluma ngalo yes we are
nabathi Dlamini but
ligama lami ngilinda ligama lami nangilinda nje now
ha mayisibongo ke
in the interest of time Fabrice angendele ligama kuphela but nje safunza konke ngicabanga ukuthi enough konke lakho nje ngalisho liphelele Fabrice Msonera liphelele ngicabanga ukuthi
so in the interest of time singakusho namuhla but next time ngangikhombisa ukuthi na Fabrice bamenda njani.
Yes.
Women Football Association, as you can see from the pictures, that was Techball, and apparently the world is curved. That's their emblem. As you know, they say FIFA, fair play for life and everything, football, yes. For them, Techball, the world is curved. It was a fun day. It was a beautiful day indeed at Olympia Africa. Now, moving on, Women Football Association, one would say women football in the country rather. They did have the annual general meeting over the weekend in Kabansi Dlamini. Just in the interest of time, any other association, of course, have to have the annual general meeting. Kubuga nama programs, kubuga tinza batetimali. Kona lokuvile ngalo mhlangano.
Fabrice kunengilokwenteka ku AGM ye women football in fact nabefika Fabrice akhuluma president kwakwadzinga ukuthi khokha kuphume ema minutes unfortunately ema minutes laphuma kwaphuma ema minutes lengasho ukuthi almost 2 years ago ema minutes bekude at the last AGM did kwathatha close to an hour so lokuphikiswana kuthiwe ngiyo ama minutes akusiwo tinvole kungakameli tendeke leto Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi nabo nje going forward tinvole kucinga ukuthi batlungisa lokunye ke la kuveta yena president waka women chairman we women football waveta ukuthi uyabasendela ema members ema emails beta nje lana kude ngisho namunye bekayifunzile i-email yakhe only the journalist labe bafunze ema email address abo lathunyelwe nguchairman ngicabanga ukuthi tonke letinvole twakhala kakhulu nge-communication lokunye lokwavetakala ke Fabrice kule AGM ukuthi ema administrators labo make mancane kakhulu so dinvo leto labantu udzinga ukuthi batilungise going forward but nje sethemba ukuthi vele le dinvo leto laba but ke positive things letaba khona la ukuthi sponsorship sa about 30,000 letaba leti include ema sanitary pads for the ladies lengicabanga ukuthi taw include ema Colgate netinsipho ngicabanga ukuthi ma positives lawo lapho makule AGM. Otherwise there is a lot Fabrice lokwenteka kabi ku ngcumbi ema sikhuluma nje ngewomen football kakhulu nawubuka ukuthi ema members ema minutes close to an hour AGM.
Jonsi singasho ukuthi it's an association that is not in order. Kunenge lokwendeka.
Kunenge kakhulu Fabrice.
And sikhuluma ukuthi labantu laba if we're not saying anything about money, but these people received about $500 from FIFA to support women. We don't know if they decide
but njoba ngishilo for press bashilo ukuthi going forward but awulungisenza abantu ama administrators labo make ikakhulu nabo coach yes ngaphosa ngakhohlinza babo coach bo coach incumbi yabo lalaba coach lama teams abaseko qualified bangamthatha nje sisu wakho lendlini ahambe ayocoacha i-team lekungasimvule kahle nakufuna ukudevelopa le sport lengicaba ukuthi inyalo vele kudzinga ukuthi baqeqeshe labo coach nabo Rafaela ke bashilo ukuthi sebantu abathola ku FA ngeke nje basathathele umumvu bathi bacela ayo judge
sithi ngeproduct yethu sithi players nangabe vele siswami wasendlini angasuka ahambe acoache asengibekisi which team within the women
Kappa ladies
or Tabangul ladies
or Mchachas
hayi Now, while there was a women general assembly, rather an annual general meeting down in Ngoyo at Ngoyoyo, there was actually Ngonyeni, rather, I would say Ngonyeni, not Ngoyo. Sorry about that. Down at Ngonyeni, there was an induction that was being conducted for the Premier League newly elected executive board. Master and Kamansi, quickly we can do that and maybe relax, talk about this induction from maybe the reliable sources. Now, the media has been dominating Premier League of Eswatini in reporting issues of corruption, issues of, not to say that it's true, but reported issues of mismanagement. But this induction was all about just to put them in order. But it would see very, how do you run a proper organization? How do you become an executive? And I think Mr. Mgometru is one well-vested person in terms of leadership. Master, tell us about it. Sini say ya kuboka Michael, bo Pet Bakona, nabo of course bo Rodriguez, bo Chas Matsebula Bong.
Fabrice, there's one thing. In fact, a couple of things in respect to Latona, CEO of Football Association, Mr. Frederick Mgomezulu, a seasoned administrator. In fact, umakuluma administration eboleni kude kuncane la ngakwadi la takutshela kona. So in fact ama presentations akhe ocishe onke nawuthi uyahlala uyawalalela a spot on. Tonke tinvo la tikhulumako, tonke tinvo la kutshela tona ti spot on. Ngicabanga ukuthi beka bebayofundisa the newly elected executive Premier League ngicabanga ukuthi vele beyidinga ukuthi ihlale phasi ifundiswe kancane. Ngiyayingisho ke mnevele cishe onke lama organization lama associations kuyadinga vele ukuthi uthole umuntu losizinto ake ade anifundisa
akhona ama issues, but maybe I know you won't tell us much before we listen to Kamichael. These 4 years but I'm khona in lapanda. No, it's a question. You can respond in your opinion.
But prediction. Aside the benefit of the doubt as by again. Basebende, bahlale phasi, sitawubona emva kwesikhathi.
Issues of sponsors. Do you think they can achieve that?
Ama sponsors la khona Fabrice la bekhona. In fact Fabrice kumele balungise indzaba 10% commission sponsorship, because lama sponsors la khona lawa solo ma sponsors la beka vele akhona. So indzaba ithola 10% nje ngicaba ukuthi kumele bayicikelele kakhulu I executive lensha kungapheki ukudliwa le mali sponsorship kani lama sponsors la khona already beka vele akhona. So ngicabanga ukuthi dinvo leto labatawuhlala phasi batibuke batilungise.
What do you see this man doing in the coming 4 years, Mr. Kamichael?
There's a lot like kumele kwenda Fabrice, there's a lot ukhuluma indzaba ama sponsors kumbula ukuthi I top 8 asenayo thina athine ebholeni kangwane. So kumele kubuye sponsor se top 8. In fact nangabe bayithola I competition lota sponsorisha I league abayithole tawenyuka le mali, because incane kakhulu le mali ama winners. Na ubuka ukuthi angifuni competition lamanye mavi, kodwa eSouth Africa na ubuka ukuthi 15 million iwin lo win league. Uyahamba lo move uyodlala iCAF Champions League usuka na move na lo win over 1 million
700,000 for second round.
Uyabona uyahamba niyo compete nayo ku CAF Champions League. Letindleko tiyafana nonke nicasha tindiza nihambe same route dzingane Tunisia nalaba se South Africa 15 million dzinga ba Tunisia. So uyatibona ukuthi tiningi letindleko dzinga tuniseka.
Now, not leaving anything behind, of course, the man himself, the newly elected chairman, Mr. Mark Kamichael, of course, had something to do with the meeting, and he had something to say. Mr. Kamichael, in an interview with one of our reporters.
Nakuthatha lithuba kubonga kakhulu lo msebenzi lesiwende ngale weekend bomcoka kakhulu kuphethe tindzaba tebhola I-governance yebhola, and kwami kubonga ifa asibambise kulo msebenzi lesiwende la, ngoba I-governance ngiyo le mcoka kakhulu phetheni kwebhola ukuthi ibhola ikhona kudlaleka kuma international standards. And thina si-executive lensha kulo msebenzi was very COVID, as we know, ishaye ingumbi, yabantu ishaye ma-industry, ishaye mave, if I can say. And as clubs, we are no different. Gutsi vele, we will have challenges, especially udlala. Ngoba thina besirely kumagede ukuthi bantu bangene, but with the health regulations asikhoni ukungenisa abantu. So yes, clubs also need to think out the box. They need to be innovative. Embrace digital innovations. Sitokhona ukuthola imali other than fans paying emaketeni. We are going to be in consultation with the digital forums. Stobona ukuthi kukhona yini indlela lesinga broadcaster imidlalo. But yes, we've just been given the green light, kudlala ibhola. So umsebenzi vele umnengi and siyawuphangisa ukuthi sikhone ukuthola yonke lempendulo lekonzana nekudlala.
Mr. Kamakel, the newly elected chairman of the Premier of Eswatini. I mean, maybe just in the interest of time, I think now we know where we're standing. Prime Minister announced that football is returning. In fact, today, as we speak, earlier these hours of today, there was a meeting to decide how clubs are returning and on all those things and how we're going to go about in terms of matches and everything. So we should have a report from Football Association tomorrow in a press conference. But rumors are there, reliable sources are coming and all those things. How do you think we go about these things, Master?
Sawuva khona Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi njengoba soshilo ukuthi bekumele namhlanje bebahlangene yona iFootball Association nayo iPremier League basho iway forward, but ke kusasa sitawuva le press conference ukuthi ithini sisinqumo labasithethe ngicabanga ukuthi vele the sooner the better ngihlale ngisho njalo ukuthi ngakuthi le decision labatayithatha kusheshe kuqala ama teams asheshe kuqala train national team sheshe iqale itrain sitawuva kusasa
I think some of the things of course will be known tomorrow pertaining to also how are we going to view the matches. Fans are not allowed and all those things are going to be revealed tomorrow in the press conference, of course, time to be announced. Otherwise, in a quick one before we move international mass, I think before also the day ended, we heard that Pick Swallows announced a new management, and of course by Charles Masabula being a new executive member of the Premier League of Eswatini, to avoid any conflict of interest, he had to be out. But when you look at other changes that were made, the incoming back of a well-known administrator LinkedIn Gule now as a corporate affairs manager and communication officer. What's your take on that? Having been with other clubs and then I think
yes samkhumbula ukuthi vele ku Pick Swallows wavela khona lapho le about 10 or 13 years ago akakhuluma indaba emaphasela bawahambisa ke emaphasela sobuyile ngale ekhaya after ahamba bomanzini Wanderers bombabani Swallows sobuyile ekhaya uhlala sikena.
But in your post it's communications and corporate affairs. Ukuthi singathi ngupro noma ngi-CEO because kunemehluko Master, and I think quickly ngicela uclarify ebholeni nyalo kuna CEO na pro ma duties yabathini nangabe Frank Rube ku Ray Leopards ang CEO umbani pro wa the team.
In fact lama teams ayakubhici angibekise nje kumanzini Wanderers kuna pro kuna CEO ku Real Leopard kuna CEO lophinza bengipro vele bese kuthathwa kona lokuthi labo pro babe lo CEO because ngibo labarana little office lama teams, but ke ku Pick Swallows bam LinkedIn corporate affairs aphinza ben communications officer pro yes,
but bang CEO katseni
bang CEO last season bambekile wabang CEO, but ngifuna ukuvumisela na Mdudu Strong lesi na Tech Ball general manager bambekile general manager Pick Swallows.
Wow, beautiful stuff, of course, taking place in the kingdom of Eswatini. Can't wait, of course, to hear from himself. LinkedIn Gure, what he has to say about his new post. And, of course, we didn't get a chance to meet him in the corridors of this innovative station. Time would allow us to get a comment from him. What does he say about his new post as the public relations officer? Now, moving on abroad, Master Skade Mzanz, I think there is something pertaining to Steve Kompela.
Steve Kompela itolo uresignile ku Golden Arrows as head coach of Golden Arrows. Wabonga umphathi we-Golden Arrows Magamanto, but namuhla ekseni bese sekuvela indzaba ukuthi in fact u-unveiliwe ngiyo iMamelodi Sundowns as a senior coach. Akacacile lokuthi but kuthiwe as a senior coach kodwa utawureporta kuye Manqoba Mngqithi. Asadi ke ukuthi those 3 coaches but awusebenza kanjani, only time will tell.
Abroad, Nadal wins the French Open.
Nadal, in fact, Nadal, Roland Garros ngasivele yakhe, so wina was 13. Yes, but lokumcwa kakhulu ke Fabrice nasobuka irecord yakhe overall image title sayiwinile saying 20. Sayibambene na Roger Federer. Roger Federer ke itolo ukhokhe itweet after iwin yakhe Rafael Nadal washo ukuthi is all time rival yena Rafael Nadal so winile somkhanzile ngama trophies Djokovic lo basolo ang number 1 so selenge move le ngicaba ukuthi vele ukhombisile yena Rafael Nadal njoba ngisho ukuthi uya enjoy ukudlala ku clay njoba ngishi 13 matitles ku clay, so vele he is the king of clay, is one of the goats, if not the goat khona ku tennis.
Wow. Time is against us, Dlamini. We have to, love and leave them there. And beautiful being with us, Dlamini. Kona funa ukugeta yini?
Yes, Lewis Hamilton, equally record like Michael Schumacher, wawina nakuzumcubi race yakhe yes 83. Lenkaba ukuthi vele bekasolo alicosha le record like Michael Schumacher, but there is Michael Schumacher's son. Utagabi naye in the next coming years stabe simgazile stabe simbuka ukuthi uqhuba njani.
They have it. When you're in the company of Linda Dlamini, you can never go wrong when it comes to details and information pertaining to sport. When we talk about football, athletics, and other information. Now, this is the 3 coaches you mentioned about, Mamelodi Sundowns.
Manqoba Mngqithi, Steve Kompela. In fact, Manqoba Mngqithi uyicoachile Golden Arrows nabanaka Mamelodi Sundowns bamthatha khona Golden Arrows. Steve Kompela bamthatha khona Golden Arrows. Rulani Mokoena umvana wakhona ku Sundowns wahamba ku Pirates bamlonisha ku Pirates wayabochipa wasosobuya ekhaya.
Master, the way we were informed about Mamelodi Sundowns, yini ngathi une interest.
Good interest for in fact nje onke ma teams ngwell versed ngawo noma ngibuta noma ngiphi ngakutshela.
With a bold voice, all the teams I'm informed ngayo, and that's Linda Dlamini, our in-house analyst. Thank you very much for being with us, and the time is against us. We had wished to talk about more and more about this football and other activities that are taking place in the Kingdom of Eswatini. But thank you very much for your time. You could have chosen to watch another program or do other things, but you decided to stay with us for the entire 60 minutes. For next time, if you want to watch a repeat, of course, you know where to watch next day at 8 in the morning on Tuesday. Otherwise, for YouTube platforms, do not hesitate or forget to subscribe for more information about the show. Otherwise, for this program, the entire program, and the entire crew that brought you the program, we do say that, si Laragamnans. Yeah,